business maestro. Yes, Bankulli. He has definitely been in the music industry for a hot minute. Yes, he's been in the scene for over 3 good decades. And of course, we know that he is the star's plug. He has made indelible marks. You know, he's in the background, but his name has to resonate amongst young and old music stars. Now, we know him for the big names, D'banj, Tsubaba, Omale, Kanye, but now he has a new artist on the rise, Basel Hope. Amidst this bustling industry, Basel has emerged as a bright and talented rising star with the potential to get your attention, not only Nigeria, but on a global scale. We will discuss the Afrobeat force. Let's take a look at his single his cover of a very, very hit track, One Dance, before inviting them on the show.
Trips on your ways, front way, back ways. You know that I don't play. Streets not safe, but I never run away, even when I'm away. OT, OT, there's never much love when we go OT. I pray to make it back in one piece. I pray, I pray.
That's why. Oh, you're welcome to the show, Basel Bankuli. Thanks a lot for joining me on Arise 360 today. Basel, I'm going to begin by telling you that you sound so sweet, honey. Really, your voice is so smooth.
Thank you very much.
So how did you meet Bankulli before? Don't look at him when you're answering this question. How did you guys meet? How did that, mashup happen?
Okay, first he entered my DMs. He was in my DMs last year, I think around May, after watching one of my covers. So then after that, we were speaking for like a year. You know, we didn't have our first studio session until October last year. So since then, we've been working on music, and he has been a mentor to me, and we've been working a lot. I've learned a lot along the way. It's been a great experience.
Oh, that's so sweet. But I heard a rumor. Don't tell Bankulli I said it though, but I hear that he is a tough boss to work with. He doesn't need to know we're having this conversation. Tell me, how much does he ride you? Like, how tough is working with Bankulli?
Wow. before he reached out to me, I didn't know too much about him, but afterwards, working with him and all, he's a top guy, honestly, in the game. He's probably one of the biggest in Africa and in the world too, because working with him, I've been exposed to a lot of information, and exposed to a lot of stuff that I didn't know before, and so far working with him has been like an upgrade for me. So
okay, well, Bankulli, I want to bring you into the conversation right now, and this is because when I was starting this conversation, I said something. I said, you're the star's plug. You're behind the scenes. It's interesting. Why aren't you more controversial than you are, Bankulli? You have every right and reason to be out there. Make small noise. Look for trouble sometimes, Be in the news, but no, you don't want. Why? What's going on? What's that about?
Well, I mean, first I would say God is the plug and socket. We're just pencil. We allow God to use us in a manner at which, very submissive manner. Yeah, for me, I believe when it comes to, the game, it is not about, being too lousy about what you can do, but how much more better you can impact people and enforce or share knowledge about what you know with people so that, they can witness growth.
I love that. And now I know you're passionate about music, Bankulli. It's something that you're endeared to. But your style of music, the style in which you love music is in the sense of helping others. There are various artists today that when they talk about, okay, their startup story, your name will be there. Oh, Bankulli linked this person with this person. Sometimes it's just like an obiter in the conversation, just a side piece of, oh yeah, he linked this person with this person. But you and I both know how this industry is. Loyalty is not the easiest thing to come by, and it's very easy to forget where you're coming from. But looking at Basel Hope, another artist that you've picked up that you want to put out there, you're doing the exact same thing. How do you cope with an industry that doesn't remember to say thank you?
Well, I mean, like I told Basel when I met him, it is not I look for Basel, it is we meet each other. on the same platform where everybody get connection, social media. The word is just there for you, social. If you want to be social, you go there and go and meet people. I saw him and I realized he's extremely talented, and it took me time, just to check and see if he's consistent with the little he has. And as much as I believe that, we can take him to the next level, I then engage. It is not just engaging him directly, but also looking forward to actually know who he is. And I reached out to his parents and spoke to his mom, spoke to his dad, spoke to his sister. Because like I always say, it's a relationship. You're starting a relationship with someone that you're meeting for the first time. It should not just be based on just the business alone. You need to understand what is going in the other person's mind. And of course, let the other person understand what intentions you have. For me, the music business is not an easy run. You must have much more education about it. Like I always tell people, if you want to become a doctor, you must go to a medical school. If you want to do oil and gas, you should read petroleum engineering. And as well, if you want to do the music business, you must understand what music business is about. It is either you sing in the bathroom or you sing in the church choir. But when it comes to that level of, doing business, becoming a star, it takes a lot beyond just the talent alone. You must understand that a lot comes around with it, including education. Having lawyers, having managers, having social media handlers and different things. Having songwriters, having producers, understanding the media, the PR. So all these are all teachings that is essential for artists to grow, artists to develop. And of course, from where they're coming from, there's something I always tell people. I prefer when people have good home training, because good home training also help exhume the greatness in that person when you interact, with people like us and, so many people around the world as well. So it takes a lot beyond just the skill, just the talent to come out and say, I want to do this. It also involves education.
Thing you said about home training, it's underrated, but it is so important. Now, rarely do I actually have an artist, and I would say, a manager, or in what capacity would you say you are to Basel? Would you call yourself his manager, his record label boss, how would you describe yourself? As what capacity would you place yourself to Basel now?
Well, the way we express our relationship, I would say we're business associate. A lot of people always misuse some certain word. It's not an upcoming artist. He's a musician first. As you can see, he can sing, he can work with a band, so he understands music in terms of key, writing music, and can sing as well. And when it comes to the business, there's nothing like boss. We are all partners. I understand the 8 different things. The essence of coming together or having this working relationship is for him himself to grow. At some point, he can handle the business by himself. And, I don't want it to be seen as, boss. No. We're both partners. It doesn't matter. When it comes to music business, yes, there's respect of age, but also when it comes to the business, tomorrow he might have some ideas or creative ideas that might supersede and bring more better earnings or better recognition to the label or to his career than me. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I see us as partners, and with that we can understand where we're both coming from. It's only Basel that is signed, that they're working with on the label. There's also a lady called Constance. At some point we're going to bring her on the show. But for now, I believe it is important that we understand that it is not an individual thing. It is not like Oga and boy. We're both associates. We're both partners, because the contract is between 2 people. It is not one person. Yes, I'm going to bring my intelligence, my knowledge, my understanding about the business into play, but also he's bringing something on the table, which is smartness, being an artist, understanding how to write music, understanding how to sing music. If he doesn't have an innate talent, I won't be on the same table with him.
Speaking about, talent, Basel, I'm going to throw it back to you. You're not an upcoming artist, and I think it's what Bankulli has just done is answer, or rather demystify, a very, very common notion of boss, pay your dues, all of that. Bankulli putting both of you on the level of business associates, of partners, I think it would also give you the freedom to express yourself without thinking to yourself, when do I have to pay this person back? Now, looking at your artistry and how you've evolved as an artist, who would you say your biggest inspirations are? I know you have a few, but I want you to tell us, maybe you've tweaked that list a little.
I have many artists that I listen to in Nigeria and even internationally, but I would say I listen to many artists. I view many other artists as inspiration. I pick inspiration from many other artists. So I won't say my inspiration is just one. It's, I pick my inspiration from many other artists across different genres of music.
So, Bankulli, let's shift gears a little and talk about a season that we are in. This was just Coachella season. It just ended. Prior to Coachella season, in January this year, we had issues where one of the concerts that we had was a big disaster, and it was a disaster in the sense of organization, management. We saw Frank Ocean set at Coachella as well. Same drama. We just wrapped up another concert in Lagos. People loved it. The common thing here is what happens behind the scenes of some of these big stage shows. They say, Bankulli, that in Nigeria, we don't have the infrastructure to put together a proper show. And I want you to answer, because like I said, you've delved into all of these things. Do we actually not have that infrastructure?
Well, I'll say first, Nigeria, as far as Nigeria is concerned, we do not have that infrastructure. We used to have that infrastructure. The infrastructure that we mean is not just the equipment alone, but technical know-how. Yes, at some point here in Nigeria, things are picking up. You can see what happened at the Timeless concert with Davido. Yes, but I'm saying that it's not just one-off. We need to do multiple shows. How come we have we have the biggest artists when it comes to Afrobeat, all doing tours around the world? Why are they not doing touring here in Nigeria? It used to happen. It used to happen. The question is, what is happening now? You must also include insecurity. You understand what I'm saying? Logistical support. If you want to bring all this world-class equipment down here to partner or to use with the one that is here, it costs a lot of money. In December, you saw what happened with the technical problem that happened during the Burna Boy show. Like I always say, it's a $1 billion investment, situation we're talking about, and it's a money spinner as well. And it's not just that; a lot of people will be employed behind the scene. So when it comes to all this put together, it's something that is a serious business. And unfortunately, if you look at what is happening here, a lot of our artists are not really doing touring here in Nigeria, and that's painful. They just come every December, they do pockets of show. What happens to January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August? They go outside the world. They go outside the country because, they find all those equipment, all those infrastructure readily available. You hear of Wizkid doing a 3-day concert at a 20,000 capacity venue. That's huge. That's 60,000 people within 3 days coming to come and watch Wizkid. Imagine how come we can't have such in Nigeria? So I believe that it is important that investors get into this. I know we can't teach people how to spend their money, but at least there must be potential there. And when we talk about numbers, when we talk about volume, you see that people really want to go out. Nigerians want to enjoy themselves. We don't want to talk. We don't want to think about the bad times. We want to think about celebrate the good times as well.
I agree with you. And you just said this so in such an apt manner, quite honestly, because, this thing has been a question. People wondering, okay, should I invest? Should I not invest? Am I going to get my money back? Some people trying to do it, but it still boils down to the things you've just mentioned. Now, let us touch about international collaborations and how important it is for Afrobeat right now. As of right now, Calm Down by Rema and Selena Gomez is one of the biggest songs in the world, not just in Nigeria. We saw Davido release an album, Timeless, beautiful body of work. Where did he stop by? The Stephen Colbert Show. We've seen Burna Boy stop by Jimmy Kimmel's show. We've seen other artists, Wizkid, Jimmy Fallon. Everybody wants to get into the international space, but it's almost as if as they're looking for us, we're looking for them. So in terms of that international collaboration for Afrobeat, how important is it? And then at what point do we know that we are doing a little too much?
I'm going to start with the investor situation you mentioned earlier on. For me, what else do we have to do to show to rich people, to banks, to different companies or stakeholders in the business sector to prove to them that this is a viable business to invest in? What else? You can see the numbers are there. At least over 2 billion people have streamed Burna Boy's music. Billions of people have streamed Davido's music. Billions of people have streamed Rema's music. Same as Tiwa Savage and the rest of them. So the numbers are speaking volume to us. You know, you mentioned about collaboration. Collaboration is the new crude oil. Afrobeat, as it is not competing with Africa. Afrobeat is competing with the rest of the world. Hence, because of that, you can see different collaborations that is springing up. And they are springing up because the merge and the growth of Afrobeat is very exponential. As it is around the world, Afrobeat is one of the fastest growing music genre in the world, integrating other cultures of the rest of the world. And people are finding it very interesting because it's not just speaking about just love, it's speaking about different topics. And it's exciting, I mean, in terms of the sonics, the sound, and of course, the culture and how happy Nigerians are. Despite the adversity, despite the problem, despite the insecurity, despite there's no food, despite the political climate, people still find a way, to make people happy. So in terms of growth of Afrobeat with collaboration, it is essential and it is good for us. And as we continue to do that, it can only make Afrobeat bigger and bigger and better. Because now you are competing with the rest of the world. You can see the amount of nominations that always pop up for the Grammys and Mobiles and the rest of all those awards, all those international awards. Nigerians are always being featured. The other day we saw one of the movies that was premiered. Thames took a major role in that. You understand? This is the same Thames that grew from Lagos, that became a star from Lagos. So for me, I believe, the international collaboration is the new crude oil. It's the new way to actually propel especially good music, which is essential.
Bankulli, you see, listen, we could do this all day. I have like 100 questions for you. Let me just tell you, if you did not inform me, I can stay here all day, but we've got to wrap this up. Basil, I want us to do something before I let you go, right? I'm going to say a word, and I want you to give me a key to it. So if I say, hey, I want you to give me a key, like, hey, or something. I want to feel your voice just raw on the camera before I say goodbye.
Oh, they want to feel your voice.
Yeah. Basil, are you ready for me? I do this all the time. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
You want me to do what? I didn't get it because you want me to do what?
So
if you mention you make a sonic.
Exactly. Bankulli just said it. Did you get it?
Okay.
You understand? Okay. It gets it.
Okay.
Okay, Basil.
Now
So the
say
first
hey,
word that I have for you is... No. Let me not say a word, a sentence. Thank you for coming to the show. Then respond by saying, thank you for having me, but don't tell me, sing it. Say, thank you for having me, but then I want you to sing that. Can you do that?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Arise TV, for having me. You like
Your
that?
work, Basil,
That's beautiful.
Listen, honey, you gotta release a love song. I like love songs, and your voice, a heartbreak song, kind of like someone like you.
I'm going to sing one for you when I come to Abuja.
He has a love song, a lot of love songs in his project that is.
Yeah, I have an EP project coming on soon. So,
okay. Well,
lots of songs for you to pick from.
Basil, remember this conversation today, and you remember you promised me a special love song. I will be looking out for that, and I will find you so we can have this conversation again. Bankulli, there's a reason they call you the executive's executive. You do a fantastic job for the world of music, and we are ever grateful. Basil, I wish you all the best in your artistry. Thank you both so much for joining me on Arise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.